Now no make catch about church. You see, most of us, some of us, I'm a Christian, and I know so most of you watching us, or being a Christian or a Muslim, and I believe in God, and I know most of you do. I pray every day, and I know so most of you do. But the reality is we need to strike the distinction, the balance between doing our best to build a nation and our religious life. And even in the religious life, we need to strike the balance between the religious component, and the moral component. The most significant in the religion, the moral part. But and I find that is why I disagree with people who say and a Christianity and I a Muslim now my young kasa, we are weak in the mind. We don't want to face reality. So always we want the dodgy way. Because don't tell me so if you go to America they don't worship God. And then I wouldn't name their walker. I told you so Donald Trump about no White House. No any prayer session there or not so for bonfire within the White House. So you can be more prayerful than they do. In the UK, now no yeah you stole cane. So okay the procession and the cosana. That it was a Catholic-like procession throughout. It was a church proceeding that was going on. So at the heart of the country is God. At the heart of the country is religion. But they've been able to delineate those things from governance, leadership. Too distant and altogether. Let us use the religion to build the moral foundation of our people so that they will become honest, they will become truthful. So when they shift to the governance line, they will be able to serve better. We are building corrupt people from the church, from the start. You can't religion in as a it's about miracle. Miracle. And then I'm saying Ghana for sebi young men quite chirintino because we are weak. We want everything easy. Yet Tikoma na sebi obi a the pen the paper man on timintwone dini. Etime dada sebi PhD holders ne ye fen saying so called doctors ne na se for so or angel na man fa so read nachi e okroma say. And how can we move in as a country? But the most crucial aspect of religion help us to deepen the moral component of our life to ensure, say, we will be truthful to our convictions, we will be truthful, we will not steal, we will not kill. Those parts in the and I didn't century hoping that things will change. So all these enterprises that I've told you about, none of them and but elsewhere they are doing it better. And your magic and your because and we have entrepreneurs running churches, fooling people. The part that will help us to be who we are, the moral identity. Maintaining and securing and identify the moral identity of Ghanaians to ensure say and on the basis upon which because if you don't have a moral foundation you can't do anything. So the church has a duty to ensure that they provide church members with that moral foundation so that whichever endeavor baby on the kobiano they can do well. But that aspect yatwogu eho yenye interested because eho no sika ni ho because eho no enti baby a sika wo nsankyere ne enti no productive time e de be ya adwuma no na kwabrane asamam for life ye ba ye say consultation e bia na the price ye gisika na akire no mo to social media e di nsem hunu na oman no bre makato so nyame some the larger part of it is here and no akomam na wankasa de obetimi aye enye obi and e be kire wo. It's good to go to church but he's wondering. That is why I disagree with those sorry, yeah, brain. No. Elsewhere it is the same. By yeno, ade bia ye beka hu bia ye say no. Ade bia ye de ho be shem bia, because we have these greed tendencies. Ade bia be wuram bia ye say no. E den na ye say no. E den until I start ya me catch about football. Africa ha me nyeso so upon man or talent. Ghana. The movie industry, that is that creative industry, music and we have a lot in this country. But we're quite fast, and in all these areas, since the followers are poor, the followers are miserable, and it's something that is never ending. Because they think that the people are ignorant, and they are just capitalizing on the ignorance and cashing out on your ignorance to live better. So some of these churches now, setting up companies, there are those who are doing better, but the majority of the people are taking the people for granted. Because church is supposed to provide some form of way, some refuge for people. But is that the case? You know very well that is not the case. In the area ben pa na yafa yakase yeye na yetimi aye ni ye as a man. None. Look at politics, governance and leadership. The same thing. The mentality has always been one. Let's go and make money. Chale, no time. And we the citizens don't even ask questions. So Obia and Ra na the obedi only out of a sudden wabeye we or nama or chesika. Because the system is such that it fuel and sustain corruption and corrupt practices. So fighting it is almost impossible. Because systems and structures now help us to weed out corruption, and corruption tendencies are itself corrupt, very corrupt. And let me say Martin Amidu had a very tall release about one thing and or can about the current special prosecutor. The fact is that he's doing pick and choose. The fact is that there are critical issues that a very crucial national interest, a beaming with a lot of questions. Ghana for a closure, Ghana for a answers. Ghana sika kodima ye hwehwe bisa se na ban se na ye sika kodi na sika na kwakosi say no. The guy has deliberately ignored those issues, and onam and an issue no do no person seven interest and an offer. Martin Midu I release is about it's a tall write up. But this comes to affirm the level of hypocrisy of Ghana form. I remember those days when Mahama was president and Martin Amidu NDC he had that issue with the party. So consistently now he wrote a lot of things bashing the then NDC government then. So Martin Amidu bawa etoho. It will be all over the newspapers, all over the radio station, online portals. Everybody will pick it. For quite some time now, the man has been writing. The same Martin Amidu has been writing. And yes, I make he has released a thorough statement about the dealings and the actions of the special prosecutor out there. But I'm not sure any of the media houses has picked any of these issues. That tells you the level of hypocrisy Ghana for and the reason why the fight against corruption, where you stand across the political divide, and then the betre say issue no yebefa na say enisa yefa. So with this mentality, pursuing governance with this mentality, you're looking for development, you're looking for silver progress. It's never gonna happen because no success and ever. Individually, you can scheme around through politics and make your cut and go away. but the foundations of this country, you know, is wrecking. Ebubu nkakra. Se Ghana for anhunyan santem. This mental revolution ya wage antimi anya some impact. Na Ghana for anya turn around. Na se say ya na ye be kwa e be ko du baabi o man na se no bebu. Just like other countries, no. Because the last time I was telling somebody, so when you go to Sudan and you see Al-Shabaab fighting some rebels, don't think that they are fools. Those people no na. Some are medical doctors, some are doctors per PhD, some are degree holders, some were once teachers, some were once nurses, some were journalists, but then are rebels and do you know why? Because the country, the system failed them. And at that point, there is no going back. The only way to save yourself is to fight for yourself. And that is what those people are doing. So those rebels, you know, the war that they wage, you know, they will tell you it's a war for survival. They are fighting for survival. That is where we are heading to. So we will go by this line. We will allow hypocrisy to consume the larger part of us. Depending on where akotono, and then yebe paya said makan or cratch any pano. No. I say, yes, it's true. And I've told you, sir, the lucrative enterprises in Ghana and your politics are your church. These are the two most booming economic enterprises in Ghana. Two most booming economic enterprises in Ghana are either it's a church or politics. It's either you are in or you're out. There are no in-betweens. So yet said this way at the and about your mind no. The hypocrisy na mekano and panimfoa over the years who saw the need to contribute because so be criticized it will be our right because so we a politician and as we are mind in your deal obi a fitani obi a carpenter obi a gate man obi a wine obi ko school and co school. You all have equal stake in this country. So obia or coins over China. But you be selective when to. Because there was a time I him from Panimfu, I saw from Panimfu, General Puppet is way in some more camp. But here we are. The country is sinking. Papa no dear Nimnukrana doesn't even know how to talk to bring the nation together. Anytime you have a carbon, you have a casabiano, a casafi. That language, you know, rather seek to divide rather than bringing people together. So, time in here, as I can hear him penning for, I him for, where young fire non tomb, baby or mine or corner, and coy and Tisabian can or crench because of hypocrisy. Nipa ne tu galam say, or so for better. And the party kind of catches or galam say M1 Minuya. Your best say your Hoku assassin so at Yanara, ya assassin, ya board and day, your bomb pie hereba by hereba. Such nonsense. And I'm penning for Sabia software, a man for all respect, mom, that is what they did. By Yesua, Christopher has some no. When he saw evil in the church, he confronted it. Or the Abba. That is what you do. Nipa no bo mo no na nkokora fo mo na mpanim fo wo na bebre chan no because Jesus was just 33 years. But dying ne kra na mini major wadi. Obo mo pam mo free church ho because when you see evil, don't allow it to triumph. A Bible consume the good ones. Don't watch evil to grow. But mpanim fo ye your money. And na near bonnie a coso crum you know be a cananoatum as if say here no evil, see no evil attitude and a yadity chroma saying and on mine qua ne coffum asofo nkasa ahemfo with influence ombetimi nobody's talking. Everything I take a political partisan connotation or chroma say. And what is growing in this country is abject nonsense and consistently you're given a certain lifeline and but the nonsense that is growing will come back and consume all of us. My catchers are what to be benefits of mine or more corner. Nyansa no munia have a sign who be because rebels, go and read about their profile. Some were doctors, some were engineers, some had their master's degree, some were lecturers. By the rebels fighting for survival because I started a man for and take you more serious because and some were enjoying and not mind jigu then there will be a kind of law unto himself. Or mine say hypocrisy and you through that level. That country goes beyond being redeemed. And gradually we are tripping to those lines. We are branching out to Kroma. All the areas are Sebi, Bibi Womu, I'll be Tim Dia Bibino. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So even self-confidence become a problem. That is why across some of the areas are tribalism. I beg the order of the day. Because one day I'll talk to you about tribalism in politics and why people become very tribalistic when it's politics. Because when you have nothing, when you have absolutely nothing as a personal competence or expertise to show to the world, you have nothing, you have to claw back. Look into the past and look at your lineage and use that. Because that is the only thing you can hang on. Apart from that, we need BBR. Look at Obitisa Samoja and the footballer. You may like him, you may not like him. But when the name of Samojan is mentioned, football that comes to mind to the highest level. So a Samojan will not need to tell you, say, me I can name me, I'm gonna name me, say it's insignificant. Because our certain quality we are what show to the world, so that will define him. So when he says Samoan, it's about football. But those who don't have anything, that is where they claw back to lunch on those trivial things. And I made them free how, and I made them free how. But one day I'll go into details with this thing. There is something called inferiority complex. There is an ongoing battle with themselves. There is absolutely nothing to hang on. Absolutely nothing. And today no be hanging on. This year. So they go back and front that particular thing just to give them certain confidence. That is why some people are tribalistic. Absolutely nothing to offer. But that is another part of it. So baby I baby druno. O mayno jigu bo. And this areas here makanya you can't about going to the IMF, begging to be redeemed, begging for redemption and stuff. This is the time for us to come and segment various sectors into priority areas. And as a government, various sectors, you prioritize, you identify the key areas in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, what will be our gains? So in segmenting these sectors into priority areas, key education. So you make sure, say, you roll out a comprehensive educational program, sir. And then make key access at the basic level, no? Because Accra, Obetimia pushing manakot kindergarten, Adru, your friends at primary school, no? They become interested in the school line. So it will be very difficult for them to drop out. Yes, it won't be your OBR. But the very moment at the basic level, we are able to push a lot of people into the educational line. No? majority of them will get to the end. And as they grow, their interest in education and some motivations, external motivations, will push them to go through the school lines, because education is key. By a roll out free SHS, other programs, and then as for wasting money on a lot of ventures, as go to the basic level and go and look at the kind of educational system. And crank it to egu a danya yet not tear na mugum. Because nobody cares about the basic level. Who is teaching them? Nobody cares. I'm telling you, sir, the basic level is the key thing. Akranunya good foundation. Wabuano. Oko school from secondary. No, my catches. Oko school from secondary school, from primary school to secondary school. Now, if you're unable to express yourself in the whatever language say your brofo to me, that is your end point. You can go to the university, so you have challenges. Because the basic level is key. At the basic level, and it's a priority area that has to be considered. Because a kindergarten, that's a teacher nature and idea. And yes, I am young for and the 1+1 na abebe is how we know. The psychological health, the mental health, the social orientation, and the even political orientation of that child, as well as on one kasa the self-awareness in they are set at that time. So you can imagine giving that responsibility to a fool, very dangerous. So young kasa and your design system kill young Quran, because at that early stage when you senior man and take care of a Quran, work forever. And to prove this thing to you, say I'm right, you know. If you go to America, crimes on the streets, committed crimes, atrocities, those who become sadists, like inflicted pain on others and they feel satisfied and as for no majority. There is a book I recommend so that you read. Majority of people who end up in these massive crimes, end up in prison. Now were coming from children's home, and there is a reason. Most of them were coming from children's home, because over there they are never show love, that motherly love, fatherly love. No, it is about instructions. Yes, say, yes, say, yes, say, yes, say, yes, say, yes, say. And over there, sometimes they compete for food in for. So they have no sympathy, there is no love, absolutely nothing. So what I say, the reason why in America majority of people in prison came from children's home, because they treat them as commodities, not as human beings. So that emotional attachment they into about sympathy anyhow. So to affirm say oba ekwo school enkrabrim na wanyanyan sani amana nkyere na de amana take care of the mental, psychological orientation, social orientation, political orientation, then the self-awareness, even a confidence be a problem. The child will be battling with inferiority complex for the rest of their life, because akrabi how can anymore nipa na we insult na work forever. And the people don't know. The very moment you shout at Accra, at that early stage, they will claw back, and forever they will be battling with inferiority complex, because onim ade okoye bi mo be kan anim. So near me woni mu no ontumi mfa nye. So at the early stage, na say any pana woni nyansa na wasa o mother command so chro made no otimi gina nkura ne mu di akura na tem describe no na ne colleagues esre, you are killing the child. And all these things we don't care. We don't give a damn about those things kura na no fa no. And those sector no you say or chro wan pass aka ba kon opa onyanyae na ya fa na kotena classroom, and then or reproduce people of this nature. So akra no obeba no obenyina obeba no na orientation no ase no dada, because akra ya wo na oko school at that early stage time onya enene maame esua. So they spend much of the time with the teacher at school. So the design no emboa and a wunyiri beduru level a we mature no so and also look at what is going on. Yeah, in such a way say no personal development, nothing. If you are not careful, it will not add anything to you. That's why I tell people walk around with PhD. But sometimes we make a comment in a statement and they will begin to ask, how? Because they went to school chasing certificate. They didn't go to develop themselves. So you have the certificate at Okasabia as a kasa. But you can't blame them. Because that is what the system is rewarding. System not prioritizes certificate over the kind of development you can add to yourself during your stay in school. And if we are able to identify school as a priority area upon which all other sectors will be prioritized, then we know that our educational foundation is key. Then, in the short term, what are the priority areas? You're making sure that at least a bit may absorb a lot of people. The last time we were talking about agric, making it a backbone, and then obi school banana the second a son and as a function in some say uncle and that is a fact. So as a reasonable government, you weave a concept that will be so enticing and motivating enough for people, especially even graduate, so they will be willing to go into those things. So what do? Those machines and modern farming and as a form. You provide those things, and then as people are coming out from universities, national service and as a form, if they are going to national service and you are paying them 500 Ghana cedis, those who accept say they will go into state farm and produce your friends say rice, then as a form, you double the pay for them. I'm telling you, about half of people who graduate from our university will go to that particular line, and they are not just going there. Because with me rice farming, in a larger way, the next thing will be a factory that will be attached to ensure say you been making sure say production, the subsequent production will happen in this country. And whatever variety there are there, because over there some additives normally account when my right and they look nice and then as a form. So when we have factories here, that factory can also sustain a larger number of people working. And again, more significantly, the product will come to our market for consumption. So monies we've been taken out to go and take money is gone. So if we can do same for your friend saying rice, can't you do the same for sugar? Because you look at things that OBRDB every day. You don't just go into any venture venture at least OBR every day. And I can identify 3. First, my can rice. Second, my can sugar. So sugar cane. But Commander Sugar Factory now is one. And I'm saying I've been in the party. Na said nyam enti na last maker say nyankopon ho be me nwanwa because yankasa se bi yenim nyansa. Commander Sugar Factory ni si wono, the contention has always been and na de na nwi ahwede and na we su factory ni si ho Adan White Elephant. We spent a fortune, and people who are doing this are mpanyimfo who are supposed to know better. You from me papa na me nana o. And if you behave this way and you want a young guy to respect you, excuse me. Because at least the respect, you need to earn it. So provide some evidence that you should earn it. Or you should have it. Commander Sugar Factory ni si ho. And the argument around and we be actually and we actually and or move be actually and sika be actually and come on. And when the media in Ghana are discussing these issues, instead of them to look straight and say hey Jack, anya she whatever be the problem, I didn't see hono anya buy we say oh yeah sure say I buy no call of our money be so. Obidi sika fraud because so there's some more they couldn't account Let us put the factory to good use and deal with these individuals. So the media will be very frontal with some of these things because sika. But the media playing around like wage just say it's so heartbreaking. The same thing and I for this agreement plant way. And I am music so munsi 2,000 affordable houses and call and musi 200 and say and say so entity nipa no musi dino omunyan tu kwan enko Togo onko China mahama by mahama etikroma the ministers etikroma so who free that dino musi ye no obi edi kapra take them and deal with them. You have the law. But a dine si hono enyo obi adio e Ghana for there. So don't let it rot. But the media will play around it. Some are finding justification. The last time I listened to a media house that was interviewing Atachiaho, then was the housing something minister. And so we'd see the line of questioning and the kind of responses the guy was providing. Oh God. Because if you ask infantile questions, you expect subsequent infantile answers. And they were playing around critical issues. A dynasty hall, some stuck with air conditions and a lot of stuff. It's been 6 years. Dynasty hall, akoko and team. And I say, yeah, prosecute a man for. So until say you be prosecute a man for, we no dano kotenema, meaning say bebu gusu. Just say, who said the Yankopons? That is what I'm saying, sir. I'm saying a may boy and when you any sorry granny, the audience and buy and a sorry cop. Because how can we behave like this? And the dynasty ho, and I pro, and I train a seminal court. And beseen there, they've not been able to even prove beyond reasonable doubt that indeed Obiaya had the bonnet. Our prison say, but take it 10 years, and I dear seminar, a dynasty was say 10 years. Na sorry near tia son dem bom paye when sabi jimia se nipa ko mama. And these people will sit in the church, make noise, pray to God. So like I said, sugarcane and a ye koma men can't be say on fan second ko jina nwuram so onkodo because nobody will do that. But if you provide a needed incentive and you can also assist the private entities to go into these things, so because when say product straight is going to factory, there's a market that is readily available, ever absorb those things, and sugar being who be producing chrome ha and some top chrome say. Because when you do that, then you ban all importations on those things. That is what countries are doing. And they are liberating themselves gradually from economic misery. And then you look at other priority areas. So these are areas you look at. Then we are now back the creative industry where a man for innate talent, a man for muno, who give you certain prominence by providing platform here. And I'm catch us a football. And I'm starting. I made a football shots, and football is key. One of them. So sikana wo de tournament nas we na wutugu asebi mfaso bia masono invest those monies into court, invest those monies into academy said the yenua no Burkina for no mali for aya ene omonya so mfaso no invest those things into school sa soccer melo games na omoye no make it more attractive, bring scout coaches a omuduru ho a omobeko akwa identify talent players na ye move omo to a certain location, you bet me training or more add a certain tag to them. Ensure that you invest in our local league. Make sure that it becomes attractive. Not at least a taxes a crown out about to swear. Bet me and yes, our taxes, no. And ensure that you educate even journalists or more sports, said your monsono who know what they are about. Because about 50% are just sycophants singing hallelujah choruses for their paymasters or more sound momo. And you see, sometimes you listen to some of their commentary and you feel like seriously, some of them sit on air and advertise nothing but ignorance and crass naivety on daily basis. defending people when they know. So beneath the defense no more, you know, it's a broken system, a very fragile system, a system that is so corrupt, a system that is fragmented, a decaying system. So we identify football na betimi akom no kom. Now the creative arts you are making, the football, don't just leave it there. Football colleges and academies, set it up. Then you go to the creative art, the art college. Make it quite attractive. Link it to an industry where a man for betimi moving access to. When those things comes on stream, then TV stations will be showing. And Ghanaian culture, no, you better put emphasis on it. You see, we are jokers. Do you know why? Hey, me say Ghana wahon. I think we are jokers. When you see people sitting in parliament making an LGBT and gentleman and Christopher, I'm saying that's in the pair bottom. You're running quite LGBT no one gentleman in your homes. It has been advertised. On your phones, it is being advertised everywhere. Because we are not telling our story. We are not putting our culture in movies. We are not putting it in writing for people to feed. And there is this Western cultural infiltration that is coming. And ukra phone, that's a Netflix now. Movie be a ocean or Netflix be a no. It's a psychological, you know. They are normalizing it for you. And yawa obana o nyini ba no o grow and say oh na say cartoon no kura o hwe because na cartoon omo ye nyina no ge no wom. But ye TV na ye be tell your story no ye de yi kunkum baji ya yi India movies omo ka twi on our television stations. Nobody is regulating. Ghana in this 21st century na malam timbet na TV so say o yi nkonya malam TV so akata nema so say or chantia masikaba in a civilized country like this or my ampaning for wom. Yet TV so TV national TV at so young konya o TV so telling the youth to say oh one year do my cry fine